The unified Earth delegation ship Horizon approached the massive space station with cautious optimism. Inside the observation deck, Ambassador Gregory Davis adjusted his formal attire and took a deep breath. Humanity's first official meeting with the Galactic Council was about to begin. "Nervous?" asked Dr. Olivia Martinez, standing beside him. "Wouldn't you be?" Gregory replied with a half-smile. 4 centuries of wondering if we're alone in the universe, and now we're about to sit at a table with representatives from 27 different worlds. The docking procedure completed with a gentle thud. Gregory and his team of 12 specialists prepared to disembark. Military advisors Captain Samuel Wright and Lieutenant Frank Wilson flanked the ambassador as the airlock doors slid open. The receiving chamber stunned them into momentary silence. Beings of various shapes, sizes, and colors stood in a semicircle. Some appeared almost human, while others defied easy description. A tall, slender figure with iridescent skin stepped forward. "Welcome, Earthlings. I am High Counselor Zarthol. The Galactic Council acknowledges your species' emergence." The translator in Gregory's ear conveyed the words in perfect English, though the being's mouth moved in patterns completely foreign to human speech. Gregory performed the practiced greeting. "On behalf of Earth and all humanity, we extend our hand in friendship and cooperation." The initial meetings proceeded smoothly enough. The humans were given quarters in the diplomatic wing of the station named Convergence. For 3 days, they attended orientation sessions about galactic politics, trade regulations, and interspecies protocols. On the 4th day, Dr. Martinez made an unexpected discovery during her authorized study of Council biological records. "Ambassador, you need to see this," she said, entering Gregory's temporary office. "According to their genetic database, humans are the only known sentient species that hasn't undergone any form of genetic modification." Gregory frowned. "What do you mean?" "Every council species has engineered their own genome in some way. Enhanced intelligence, disease resistance, environmental adaptation. They've been doing it for thousands of years. We're the only natural species they've encountered." This revelation explained the subtle condescension the humans had sensed from some council members. During the next assembly, Gregory noticed the appraising looks, the whispered conversations when human delegates spoke. 2 weeks into negotiations, the council presented Earth with its membership terms. Captain Wright scowled as he reviewed the document. "These expansion restrictions are ridiculous," he said quietly to Gregory. "They're limiting our colonization to just 12 star systems, all within 50 light-years of Earth. And these technology development protocols," added Dr. Martinez, "they effectively prevent us from advancing our propulsion and energy systems beyond current capabilities." Gregory maintained diplomatic composure during the formal response. "While we appreciate the Council's guidance, these terms seem unnecessarily restrictive for a developing species eager to contribute to galactic society." High Counselor Zarthol's expression remained unreadable. "The restrictions are standard for new member species. The Council must ensure orderly expansion and technological development." That night, Captain Wright couldn't sleep. Something about the Council's behavior bothered him deeply. Against protocol, he used his security clearance to access the station's information network through a terminal in his quarters. 3 hours later, he quietly knocked on the ambassador's door. "Sir, I found something," Wright said, his voice tight with concern. "I accessed some classified council archives. They've been monitoring Earth for over a century. They know far more about us than they've admitted." Gregory's expression darkened. "What else?" "They've classified humans as dangerously unpredictable. There are contingency plans for containing our species if we don't comply with their integration protocols." "Containing us? What does that mean?" "I don't know exactly, but sir," Wright hesitated, "I don't think the line they've drawn for us is about protecting galactic stability. I think they're afraid of what humans might become without their control." Gregory stared out the viewport at the countless stars. Then we need to be very careful about our next steps. Lieutenant Abigail Foster crouched behind the maintenance panel on New Terra, humanity's second colony outside the Sol system. Her fingers moved quickly over her specialized scanner, confirming her suspicions. "Damn it," she whispered. "They're everywhere." The microscopic surveillance devices embedded in the colony's infrastructure were nearly undetectable. Only Abigail's custom-built equipment, designed specifically to search for alien technology signatures, had found them. 3 months had passed since Earth's conditional acceptance into the Galactic Council. The terms had been restrictive, but humanity had little choice but to agree. Officially, at least. She tapped her secure communicator. "Control, this is Sparrow. Surveillance confirmed on New Terra. Same pattern as Mars colony." "Understood, Sparrow," came the encrypted reply. "Document and return. Don't tip them off." Back on Earth, in an underground facility beneath the Rocky Mountains, the leaders of Earth's newly formed Covert Intelligence Unit gathered. The Boundary Force, as they called themselves, operated in complete secrecy, unknown even to most government officials. General Daniel Morgan studied the holographic display showing surveillance device locations across human settlements. "They're watching everything we do," he said grimly. Dr. Jason Powell, the brilliant physicist recruited by the Boundary Force, nodded. "And restricting our advancement at every turn. The approved faster-than-light drive they provided is deliberately inefficient. I've calculated that their own ships must be at least 3 times faster." Abigail's report was projected onto the main screen. "Lieutenant Foster has confirmed surveillance on all 7 colonies. The Council knows our population numbers, resource usage, weapons capabilities, everything." "What about the power-dampening field we detected around Proxima Centauri?" asked Admiral Lisa Turner. "Confirmed," Dr. Powell replied. "It's designed to prevent us from developing certain energy technologies beyond their approved limits. We've found similar fields in 3 other systems the Council graciously allowed us to settle." Admiral Turner's expression hardened. "This isn't partnership, it's containment." The meeting continued as they reviewed intel gathered over the past months. The picture becoming clearer was deeply troubling. Captain Samuel Wright, who had been working undercover in diplomatic services, shared his latest findings. "I've managed to access more restricted Council archives. Humans aren't the first species they've treated this way." He displayed images of various alien species none of them recognized. These civilizations were all classified as unstable or unpredictable by Council standards. Some were restricted like us. Others, he paused, were completely quarantined until they either accepted genetic modification or die out. A heavy silence fell over the room. "There's more," Wright continued. "I found evidence the Council has been harvesting resources from our restricted zones, the very areas they've forbidden us to develop." Dr. Powell spoke up. "I've made progress on technology that can shield our activities from their detection methods. It's not perfect yet, but it's enough to create blind spots in their surveillance." General Morgan nodded. "Good. We'll need that for what comes next." He turned to Admiral Turner. "What's the status of the stealth vessels?" "The first 3 ships are ready," she replied. "Completely off the books, constructed using materials that don't match our official inventory records. And the crews? All volunteers, officially listed as casualties in training accidents or reassigned to classified projects." General Morgan addressed the room. "Humanity has always valued independence and self-determination. The Council crossed a line by treating us like children who can't be trusted with their own development." He pointed to the star map showing restricted zones. "Admiral Turner, prepare your ships. It's time we see what the Council is hiding beyond those boundaries they so graciously drew for us." As the meeting concluded, Abigail Foster studied the faces around her. They all understood the risk they were taking. If discovered, the Council could declare humanity in violation of their agreements and take more direct control. But they also understood what was at stake: the future of humanity itself. Commander Eric Sullivan watched helplessly as Galactic Council enforcement vessels surrounded his trade ship, the North Star. His cargo of medical supplies bound for the struggling colony on Proxima Centauri was perfectly legal, even by Council standards. "This is Commander Sullivan of Earth Vessel North Star. We're on a registered humanitarian mission. Please explain the reason for this interception." The reply came coldly through the translator. "Human vessel, you are in violation of Council Directive 447B. Prepare to be boarded." Eric knew there was no such violation. This was the third Earth vessel seized in the past month on false pretenses. As armed Council security officers boarded his ship, he activated the hidden emergency beacon, a signal that would reach Earth through the quantum communication network developed by Dr. Jason Powell. The situation was deteriorating rapidly. 2 days earlier, the Council had publicly announced new restrictions on human access to terraforming technology. The official reason was environmental safety concerns, but Earth scientists had proven these concerns baseless. Without the technology, the colony on Proxima Centauri would continue to struggle with oxygen production. In the executive chambers beneath the United Earth Government headquarters in Geneva, an emergency meeting was underway. "We've just received confirmation," said Major Nicole Harris, her voice tight with controlled anger. 342 colonists on Proxima Centauri are dead. The Council's so-called safety protocols shut down life support systems during a solar storm. Ambassador Gregory Davis, now Earth's senior representative to the Council, shook his head in disbelief. "They told us the restrictions were for our protection. This is murder." General Daniel Morgan finished for him. "And it wasn't an accident." "Major Harris, tell them what you found." Major Harris activated a holographic display. "My team infiltrated a Council research facility in the Ta-CD system. They're developing bioweapons specifically designed to target human physiology." She displayed molecular structures on the screen. "These compounds would be harmless to all Council species but deadly to humans." The room fell silent as the implications sank in. "Our formal protest was dismissed in yesterday's Galactic Assembly," Ambassador Davis said quietly. High Counselor Zarthol claimed the evidence was human fabrication and suggested Earth needed stronger guidance to become a responsible member of galactic society. Dr. Olivia Martinez, who had been analyzing Council biology for 2 years now, spoke up. "They see us as a threat. Our adaptability, our creativity, our unpredictability. These are qualities they've engineered out of their own species over thousands of years of genetic manipulation." General Morgan stood and addressed the gathered leaders. "For the past 15 months, we've tried diplomacy while secretly preparing for this moment. The Boundary Force has established hidden facilities beyond Council detection. Dr. Powell's quantum communication network is fully operational. Admiral Turner's stealth fleet is ready." He paused, looking at each person in the room. What happened on Proxima Centauri wasn't just a line crossed, it was a declaration that human lives are expendable. "I believe the time for merely defending ourselves has passed." Ambassador Davis sighed heavily. "I've spent my career pursuing peaceful relations, but I can no longer deny the Council's true intentions. They don't want partners, they want subjects." The vote was unanimous. The Earth Defense Coalition was officially formed, with General Morgan as its commander. As the meeting concluded, they received news that Commander Sullivan's ship had been impounded, its crew detained for questioning. At the same time, Council regulatory ships had entered orbit around 3 more human colonies. "They're moving faster than we anticipated," Admiral Turner noted. General Morgan nodded grimly. "So must we. Begin Operation Breakwater immediately. Maintain diplomatic protocols as cover while we deploy the first wave of defensive measures." As the leaders filed out, Dr. Martins pulled up images from the Proxima Centauri colony. Families, children, an outpost of humanity reaching for the stars, now partially silenced. The Council had drawn their line. Humanity was about to erase it. Dr. Stephanie Rodriguez worked silently in her lab deep within the asteroid, designated only as Point Zero. Her team had been working nonstop for 3 weeks, perfecting the shield technology that would change everything. Run final test sequence. She instructed her assistant. The small device on the testing platform hummed quietly. Around it, sensors from a salvaged Council detection array swept for signals. The readings remained flat. Nothing detected. Dr. Rodriguez allowed herself a small smile. It works. The quantum disruption field completely masks our energy signatures. 50 million kilometers away, Captain Benjamin Cole stood on the bridge of the Defiance, the first in Earth's new fleet of ships built with hidden shipyards using technology reverse-engineered from Council designs. The vessel existed on no official registry. All systems nominal, Captain, reported his first officer. Stealth systems functioning at 100% efficiency. Benjamin nodded. Begin departure sequence. Maintain communication blackout until we reach the rendezvous point. The Defiance and 3 sister ships slipped away from their hidden dock, invisible to Council monitoring stations. Their mission: establish the first human colony beyond Council-approved territory. While these secret operations continued, Earth maintained its public face of compliance. Ambassador Davis attended Council meetings, voiced mild concerns about restrictions, and presented the image of a species slowly accepting its proper place in galactic society. Behind this facade, humanity's silent revolution spread through the stars. In an underground facility on Mars, Dr. Jason Powell activated the final node of the quantum communication network. Unlike conventional signals that could be intercepted, this system used entangled particles to transmit information instantaneously and undetectably. Network complete, he announced to General Morgan. Every human settlement, official and unofficial, is now connected. The Council can't eavesdrop on our communications anymore. General Morgan's response came through crystal clear from Earth. Well done. How soon can we implement Ghost Protocol across all settlements? Implementation has already begun. Within 2 weeks, we'll be operating completely beneath their detection threshold. The Ghost Protocol was humanity's most ambitious project, a comprehensive system to hide their true activities while presenting a false image to Council monitoring. Power readings, population counts, technological development, all would show exactly what the Council expected to see, while actual human progress continued undetected. On an officially non-existent world that human settlers had named Liberty, the first completely hidden colony took shape. 5,000 colonists, all officially listed as working in the Saturn mines, built a new home far from Council eyes. The Council, meanwhile, grew increasingly confident in their control over humanity. High Counselor Zarful presented a new directive to Earth's representatives. The Council has determined that human genetic diversity presents unnecessary health risks. The alien diplomat stated smoothly, "We require implementation of our standard genetic optimization protocols within 2 generations." Ambassador Davis maintained a neutral expression, though inside he felt cold fury. "And if we decline this opportunity, then Earth will be designated a Class 3 restricted zone. No off-world travel permitted until compliance is achieved." It was the ultimatum they had been expecting. Forced genetic modification to make humans more like Council species, predictable, specialized, and docile. "We will present this to our governments," Davis replied carefully. That evening, in a secure room scanned continuously for monitoring devices, Earth's leaders gathered to discuss the ultimatum. "They're finally showing their true intentions," Admiral Turner said. "They won't be satisfied until humans are as controlled as every other species in their dominion." General Morgan nodded. "Our intelligence suggests they're already preparing enforcement fleets, anticipating our refusal." "Are we ready?" asked Dr. Martinez. "The hidden colonies are established. Captain Cole's fleet will reach Liberty next week. Dr. Rodriguez's shield technology is being deployed to all settlements. Dr. Powell's communication network is operational." General Morgan looked around the room. We've done everything possible to prepare." Ambassador Davis took a deep breath. "Then we proceed as planned. I'll give the Council our public response tomorrow, apparent capitulation while requesting time to prepare our population. And meanwhile," Admiral Turner added, "we continue Operation Ghost Protocol. Let them think they've won while we prepare to show them exactly what unmodified humans are capable of." The massive Council enforcement vessels entered Mars orbit with no warning. Citizens watched in shock as shuttle after shuttle descended to the surface, carrying Council officials and security forces. By authority of Galactic Council Resolution 5291, this colony is now under direct Council supervision, announced the lead enforcer, a hulking reptilian being named Crafter. All humans will report for genetic assessment within 48 hours. Similar scenes played out on Luna and across the established human colonies. Council forces set up genetic compliance centers in major population areas. Human leaders who protested disappeared for specialized education. In the hidden command center beneath the Martian southern ice cap, Colonel Ryan Murphy watched the occupation unfold through surveillance feeds. His resistance cell had been preparing for this moment for months. "Status report," he demanded. "They've occupied the 7 main domes," his intelligence officer reported. "Approximately 10,000 occupation forces. They're going district by district, registering civilians for genetic assessment." Ryan's jaw tightened. Reports from other colonies confirmed that assessment was merely the first step. Those who underwent the procedure emerged changed, more docile, less creative, their spark of humanity diminished. On Earth, Admiral Kevin Anderson received the distress signals from the occupied colonies. The Council had finally overplayed its hand, believing humanity too weak and divided to resist. They had no idea what awaited them. "Begin Operation Sunburst," he ordered. Across the solar system, carefully hidden defense platforms activated simultaneously. Dr. Michelle Phillips, the engineering genius who had designed the system, monitored the deployment from her command post on Titan. "All defense grids online," she confirmed. "Council detection systems remain blind to our activities." The Council's main enforcement fleet, consisting of 27 warships, maintained position near Earth. High Counselor Zarthul himself had arrived to oversee humanity's integration into the proper galactic order. "The humans are accepting our guidance better than expected," he remarked to his adjutant. "Their resistance has been minimal. Our intelligence suggested they might be more difficult to subdue," the adjutant replied. "They are unmodified primitives," Zarthul said dismissively. "Without proper genetic optimization, they lack the capacity for coordinated resistance." At that moment, the Earth's official government delivered its response to the Council ultimatum. The message was broadcast across all channels, reaching every human settlement in the solar system. "People of Earth and her colonies," began President Sophia Reyes. "For 2 years, we have endured increasing restrictions from the Galactic Council. We have watched as they limited our growth, controlled our technology, and treated us as lesser beings." The Council representatives listened in growing alarm as the tone shifted from the expected capitulation. "Today, they have crossed the final line. The forced modification of our genetic code, the very essence of what makes us human, is unacceptable. Effective immediately, Earth and all human settlements declare complete independence from Galactic Council authority." On Council ships across the system, alarms began to sound as their sensors suddenly detected energy readings where none had existed moments before. "Massive energy spike detected," shouted a Council officer on the command ship. Before Zarthul could respond, targeted electromagnetic pulses disabled the propulsion systems of the entire Council fleet. Simultaneously, the occupation forces on Mars and Luna found their communication systems jammed, their weapons suddenly non-functional. Admiral Anderson watched from his command center as the first phase succeeded perfectly. All Council vessels immobilized. "Begin Phase 2. From hidden hangars across the solar system, Earth's true defense fleet emerged. hundreds of ships equipped with technology that should have been impossible for humans to develop under Council restrictions. In the Mars colony, Colonel Murphy led his resistance fighters out of hiding. Using weapons designed to incapacitate rather than kill, they quickly overwhelmed the confused occupation forces. On the Council command ship, High Counselor Zarthol stared in disbelief at the tactical display. Humanity had not only developed technology far beyond their permitted level, but had done so completely undetected. "Impossible," he whispered as human ships surrounded his fleet. "How could they hide all this from us?" The answer came in the form of a direct communication from Admiral Anderson. "You drew your line in the stars, Counselor. We just erased it." The Council warship Inevitable Dominance shuddered as another direct hit broke through its defensive shields. Captain Vexnar steadied himself against his command console, mandibles clicking in agitation. "How are they moving so quickly?" he demanded. "Their ships appear and disappear from our sensors without warning." His tactical officer had no answers. The human vessels were employing technology that should have been centuries beyond their development level. Worse, they seemed to anticipate every Council tactic and countermeasure. On the bridge of the Earth vessel Defiance, Captain Benjamin Cole directed the multi-front assault with calm precision. "Squadron 3, execute jump to coordinates Alpha 7. Squadron 5, provide cover for the Mars Liberation Force." The quantum jump technology developed by Dr. Powell allowed human ships to make instantaneous micro-jumps through space, making them virtually impossible to target. Council ships, with their conventional faster-than-light drives, could not match this mobility. High Counselor Zarthol had retreated to the safety of Convergence Station, where an emergency session of the Council was underway. "How could primitives hide this level of advancement?" demanded the representative from Selnar Prime. "Our monitoring systems detected nothing," insisted the head of Council Intelligence. "Their energy signatures, population growth, resource usage, all remained within expected parameters." Zarthol's skin had lost its iridescent glow. They'd fooled us completely. News of Council defeats spread rapidly across the galaxy. Species that had long submitted to Council authority watched with growing interest as humans successfully fought back against the supposedly invincible galactic power. Colonel Rayan Murphy led the ground operations to liberate occupied colonies. Unlike the Council, which saw captives as resources to be managed, Murphy insisted on humane treatment for all Council prisoners. "We're not fighting to replace one tyranny with another," he told his troops as they secured the Mars colony. "We're fighting for the right of all species to determine their own future." The Council had never faced this type of warfare. Accustomed to conventional conflicts where victory came through superior firepower, they were unprepared for humanity's guerrilla tactics. Human strike teams materialized without warning, disabled critical infrastructure, and vanished before effective countermeasures could be deployed. In her laboratory on Liberty, Dr. Allison Baker monitored the biological warfare sensors she had developed. When the Council realized conventional warfare was failing, they had deployed biological agents engineered to target the human genome. "Pathogen neutralization successful," she announced to General Morgan. "Our countermeasures have rendered their bioweapons ineffective." For weeks, the conflict expanded across Council space. Human forces avoided civilian targets but systematically destroyed the infrastructure that supported Council military operations. Supply depots, monitoring stations, defense platforms, all fell to precision strikes. Dissent grew within the Council itself. Species that had long chafed under Council restrictions began questioning their leadership. "Why were humans classified as dangerous?" demanded the representative from Trellis, a world that had peacefully joined the Council centuries earlier. "Because they refused genetic modification. Because they valued their natural diversity. They were unpredictable," Zarthol insisted. "All unmodified species eventually destroy themselves through conflict. Or perhaps," suggested another representative, "they destroy the artificial boundaries imposed upon them." As Council military losses mounted, Admiral Lisa Turner prepared for the final phase of Earth's strategy. Her fleet surrounded Convergence Station itself, the heart of Council authority. "This is Admiral Turner of the Earth Defense Force," she broadcast openly. "We have disabled your defenses and control all approach vectors to this station. We are not here to destroy but to negotiate." On screens throughout the station, her message continued. "For too long, the Council has decided which species may advance and which must remain limited. You divided the galaxy into those you deemed worthy of progress and those you did not. Humanity rejects this division." The terms she presented were simple: immediate recognition of human independence, withdrawal of all Council forces from human space, and a complete restructuring of the Galactic Charter. In the Council chamber, representatives from dozens of worlds turned to Zarth Hol, awaiting his response. The High Counselor looked at the tactical displays showing human ships surrounding his last stronghold. His options had been systematically eliminated by a species he had dismissed as primitive. "How could we have misjudged them so completely?" he whispered. The signing ceremony took place aboard the neutral vessel Concordia, specially constructed for this historic occasion. Representatives from all Council worlds and human colonies gathered to witness the end of one era and the beginning of another. Ambassador Gregory Davis, who had started this journey as humanity's first contact with the Galactic Council, now stood ready to formalize humanity's new role in the galaxy. High Counselor Zarth Hol approached the document table slowly, his once proud posture now subdued. The war had cost the Council dearly, not just in military assets, but in the collapse of its authority over member worlds. "The Council acknowledges the sovereignty of humanity and all its settlements," Zarth Hol stated formally. "The restrictions previously imposed are hereby dissolved." As he signed the document, murmurs spread through the gathered dignitaries. For the first time in over 5,000 years, the Galactic Council had been forced to acknowledge it had overstepped its authority. Gregory stepped forward next. Humanity accepts this recognition and proposes in its place a new framework for galactic cooperation, one based on mutual respect rather than control. The document they signed did more than secure human independence. It dismantled the restrictive Galactic Charter that had allowed the Council to determine which species could advance and which would remain limited. After the ceremony, Captain Catherine Green prepared for her next mission. Her ship, the Harmony, would lead the first diplomatic mission to worlds that had broken away from Council control during the conflict. "This is our opportunity to build something better," she told her crew as they departed. "Not just for humans, but for all species who desire self-determination." On Earth, reconstruction efforts were well underway. Though the war had been won with minimal loss of human life, thanks to the element of surprise and superior tactics, the occupied colonies had suffered under Council rule. Dr. William Harris, who had witnessed the effects of forced genetic modification on some colonists, established new medical protocols to help those affected. "We can reverse much of the damage," he explained to General Morgan. "But more importantly, we need to establish ethical guidelines for genetic research that respect individual choice." The principles that had guided humanity's resistance, self-determination, diversity, and cooperation without compulsion, formed the foundation of the new interstellar cooperative that replaced the Council. In the former Council archives on Convergence Station, now renamed Unity Hub, Dr. Olivia Martinez made a remarkable discovery. Records showed that humans weren't the only naturally evolved species the Council had encountered. Over millennia, dozens of others had been deemed too unpredictable and subjected to restrictions or modifications. Some of these species might still exist in isolated pockets, she reported. The Council claimed they died out naturally, but these records suggest otherwise. Admiral Lisa Turner, now serving as Earth's security representative to the cooperative, immediately authorized search missions. If other natural species survived Council suppression, they deserved the same freedom we fought for. 6 months after the peace treaty, the first joint human-alien scientific expedition departed to explore beyond the old Council boundaries. Areas previously restricted by Council decree were now open for all. On the observation deck of the research vessel Discovery, Captain Samuel Wright watched the stars streak by. He thought back to that moment years ago, when he had first discovered the Council's true intentions in their classified archives. "I never imagined it would lead to this," he said to Dr. Powell, who stood beside him. "The Council never understood what they were dealing with," Powell replied. "They thought unpredictability was a weakness to be engineered away. They never realized it was the source of our greatest strength." In Council schools across the galaxy, the curriculum changed. Young aliens learned not about the necessity of control and uniformity, but about the power of diversity and choice. The line that the Council had drawn between acceptable and unacceptable paths of development had not merely been erased. In its place, humanity and its new allies had drawn something entirely different, a foundation for a civilization where every species could chart its own course among the stars. As new worlds joined the cooperative each month, the guiding principle remained the one humans had fought for. No species had the right to determine the destiny of another. The galaxy had entered a new age, one where the boundaries were not lines of limitation but horizons of possibility. 5 years after the formation of the Interstellar Cooperative, humanity's influence had spread throughout the galaxy in ways no one could have predicted. On the planet Nexus, a world that served as the new center of interstellar governance, Dr. Olivia Martinez walked through the Grand Archives. What had once been the restricted knowledge vault of the Galactic Council was now an open repository of information accessible to all species. Dr. Martinez called a voice behind her. She turned to see Vrilnar, a young Selnar whose species had once been among the most loyal Council enforcers. The restoration team found another sealed section. "We believe it contains records of the earliest Council interventions." Olivia followed him to a previously hidden chamber. The team had unlocked files dating back nearly 12,000 years. "This changes everything we thought we knew," she whispered as she reviewed the data. The Council wasn't formed as a cooperative venture between advanced species. It was created by a single dominant species to control the development of all others. The records revealed that the original Council founders, the progenitors, had feared competition from naturally evolving species. They had engineered the genetic modification programs not to help other species, but to ensure they developed along predictable, controllable paths. When Admiral Lisa Turner received this information at Cooperative Headquarters, she immediately called an emergency session. "The implications are significant," she told the assembled representatives. "Many of your species' supposedly natural evolutionary paths were actually designed by the progenitors to create specialization and dependency." The revelation sparked intense debate across the galaxy. Some species felt betrayed by the confirmation that much of their biological and cultural identity had been engineered by others. Captain Benjamin Cole, now commanding the exploration vessel Horizon Beyond, was leading a mission to the previously forbidden Outer Rim when he received an urgent transmission from Earth. "Ben, we found them," said Admiral Turner's message. "The progenitors aren't extinct as the Council records claimed. They've been hiding beyond the galactic barrier, monitoring everything." Cole immediately adjusted his ship's course. The cooperative needed to know if these ancient manipulators posed a new threat. Meanwhile, Dr. Jason Powell had made a breakthrough in his work with species affected by Council genetic programs. His team had developed a method to safely reverse unwanted modifications while preserving beneficial adaptations. "The choice must always belong to the individual," he explained during a presentation at Unity Medical Center. "Some may choose to retain their modifications, others may wish to explore what their natural evolution might have been." This philosophy of choice, the cornerstone of the human contribution to galactic society, had transformed relationships between species. Where the Council had created hierarchy and dependence, the cooperative fostered partnership and mutual support. On the former Council homeworld of Zenith Prime, Ambassador Gregory Davis attended the graduation ceremony of the first class from the new Interspecies Diplomatic Academy. The students represented 47 different species, including several that had been rediscovered after centuries of Council-imposed isolation. "When we first met the Council, They saw our diversity and unpredictability as flaws to be corrected, he told the graduates. They failed to understand that these are the very qualities that drive innovation and adaptation. A young human diplomat named Laura Wilson approached him after the ceremony. Ambassador, the delegation from the outer colonies has requested your presence. They've discovered something in the ruins on Epsilon IV. Pre-Council artifacts suggesting contact with Earth thousands of years ago. This discovery added another piece to the puzzle of galactic history that humanity was helping to reassemble. As artificial boundaries fell away, ancient connections were being revealed. In orbit above Earth, General Daniel Morgan watched the construction of the Memorial to Choice, a monument commemorating not just humanity's stand against the Council, but all species' right to determine their own path. We didn't just erase their line, he remarked to Colonel Ray Murphy. We redrew the map of the galaxy. Murphy nodded, and the journey's just beginning. Captain Cole's reports from the Barrier Expedition suggest there are whole civilizations beyond our galaxy that the progenitors kept hidden from us.